This is the Geoffrey and Richie Show. All sports, all talk.
Welcome to the Geoffrey and Richie Sports Show, your weekly sports podcast. I'm Richie Benno, and I'd like to introduce my colleague, Geoffrey Boycott. Good morning, Geoffrey.
Morning, Richie. Morning, everybody.
How the devil are you?
Not too bad.
Wicked.
Cold.
Isn't it?
It's freezing.
Doesn't it turn? And
I think it's winter.
And for old chaps like us, it really gets to our bones, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, you've been indoors. I've had to travel here from many miles.
Indeed. Probably being followed by the police, no doubt.
Well, indeed, that does seem to be the way these days. Or the paparazzi. It's a constant problem for me. Police or paparazzi.
Yeah,
the two Ps.
The two Ps, absolutely.
Horrendous.
Papped. Tiger.
Hold on, I thought I was going to go Richie,
No,
Tiger.
I nipped it in
go.
there. I nipped it in there. No. What a week. What's your take on it?
Interesting. A surprise. I don't think I know anywhere near as much about this story as you do. We were sat here. I think it was last Friday.
It was last Friday. Yeah.
When the story first broke, and indeed, at the time, obviously we didn't know any details other than the fact he'd been in some kind of car accident. They were saying he was seriously hurt. We were thinking, is this potentially something, very, very serious in terms of his injuries, etc.
We were thinking Jacker. Let's
Well,
call a spade a spade.
far.
We were thinking this could escalate. Who knows what the details are?
We were thinking that, but then, basically we were checking every sort of 10, 15
We
minutes.
were.
In fact, what were you calling it?
No, I was calling it checking for Tiger updates. That's what I was calling
I
it.
forgot what you were saying. Yes. Anyway, so we were obviously checking regularly, and the stories were amending to basically say that he was effectively okay and he'd been released, etc., etc. And then we started to think, how had this happened? Because for him to have crashed his car so soon after pulling off his driveway at 2:25 a.m. in the morning.
Good details.
Thank you very much. I don't know too much more. Was very odd. So we were obviously speculating as to why that would be, and and I did kind of put out there that there must be some kind of argument involved with his wife.
Yeah.
And obviously, as the days have gone past, it's now come to light that hasn't come to light necessarily, but certainly
Alleged, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a lot of allegations flying around about mistresses, and there was initially the one that came out, but I think that the more damaging has been the second one, a lady by the name of Jamie Grubbs, and as you know her, and yeah, this is it's a mega story because it really just combines two of two of the biggest interests really in sports stars and celebrity, and the American tabloid media have just had an absolute field day. They've just got like hourly updates of news stories, many of them alleged, obviously. They've even got like an alleged voicemail recording that Tiger is supposed to have left on this woman's.
I'd love to hear that.
Well, you can hear it, mate. I can't tell you. I shouldn't really say where, but it's really not that difficult to find.
Okay.
And
I will listen to it.
I've got to say, it does sound like him. All alleged. Must make that clear. But it does sound like him.
Would he be stupid enough to do that?
Who knows? Who knows? He is fiercely protective about his private life, and has been for many years. And in a way, it's his protection that he's given it and his privacy that has blown it out of all proportion. He's released two statements. One, asking for privacy at this difficult time, and two, basically saying that he's let his family down and he regrets these transgressions, without actually being more specific than that. Reading between the lines, it does kind of amount to some form of a confession, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And these there's stories breaking all the time. They're having hourly marriage counselling, and just to get through this, and there's some kind of deal on the table for her not to go, allegedly, for millions and millions of dollars and things. And yeah, it's unbelievable. He was due to host the Chevron World Target Championship this week, which is he's hosted it for the last 9 years. It's not an official USPGA Tour event, but there's many. I think there's 18 invited top players.
Right.
But he's pulled out of it. Basically naming his injuries that he sustained, which I think is fair enough, but certainly more fair enough bearing in mind the turmoil that all this is causing. And I just find it unbelievable the amount of information or lack of information. I think that's what it is. It's just speculation, really.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? Until he actually comes out and I guess admits, and I guess that is as far as he's going to go.
There is no way he's going to stand up and say, yes, this is what I did. This is what he's just not going to do that. It doesn't serve any purpose. At the moment, he can really focus on the things that he's saying, i.e. private life, patching his marriage back together, blah, 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 those kind of things. And there isn't really a need for his... I don't really see his reputation being massively tarnished because of this.
No, well, I mean, if you think, obviously...
It was disappointing, obviously, but, I mean, but people, the press always put people up on pedestals just to knock them down as and when.
They love doing
and
that.
The thing is, you think of, arguably, him and David Beckham are the highest profile sports stars in the world, and there was all these, alleged affairs with Becks back in 2003, and, no one really talks about it now. And I'm sure this will be exactly the same with Tiger.
No, I suppose this is slightly different, and there are 3 women, apparently, allegedly involved, aren't there?
Well, allegedly. I don't think all at the same time.
Well, no, I mean, that would be a story in itself.
That really would be. I don't want to reenact your fancy on this on this
Not
podcast.
at this stage.
But
for a late night special. Well, no, I mean, I was speaking to one of our colleagues, I think our West Ham correspondent earlier on today, and we were discussing this very matter. And we were also discussing the fact that, obviously, the very top sportsmen are clearly, constantly subject of female attention, and
we are,
and and obviously temptation must be great from time to time. I mean, it is clear from seeing Tiger's wife that she's an attractive lady, etc., etc. But I think everyone has their weaknesses at different times. It's just whether you act upon those.
I mean, at the end of the day, as I said before, to me this is just really, it's really harping on the celebrity. I mean, America and the UK as well are just obsessed with it, and you've only got to look at the facts that, Tiger never really releases any information about his family. No one knew when either of his children were actually, the due dates for them. It wasn't public knowledge. He doesn't doesn't get involved with things such as Twitter or anything else like that.
How dare he?
That's blasphemous. But and everything that he puts out there is very controlled through his website and everything else. He obviously, on the course he's very focused and everything else. But it just, as I say, this, it's almost as if people have been waiting for 10 years to really jump on this bandwagon and really see some scandal with him. And it's like, people are queuing up for it. Just to put their 2 pennies with it. Even today, there's a third person come out allegedly, and is she linked? Is she not? And in a funny kind of way, that whether she is or whether she's not is almost irrelevant. It's just another story. It's another scoop, and it will run for a while, I dare say. But to be honest, I'm not sure if him saying nothing is the right thing or the wrong thing. It just seems to be something that won't go away. But I don't see it affecting his golf at all.
No, not at all. I mean, from his point of view, obviously, we can only hope that, well, for the sake of his child, I guess, that that himself and his wife do stay together. But 2 children indeed. Well, congratulations to him on that number 2.
Yeah, that's not getting much coverage these days.
No, but nonetheless, I mean, you certainly wouldn't blame her if she was to walk away at this stage,
no.
given all that's going on. I mean, that puts a massive amount of pressure on any relationship.
It really does. But what a story, and
before we finish this segment, can I just ask you a question?
Go on then.
Can you think of any top sportsmen in this country, like top sportsmen, that have not been unfaithful?
No.
Because again, this is another thing I was talking to our West Ham correspondent about. And the only ones that I could quickly come up with were Michael Owen.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Jamie Redknapp, but he is with a cracker.
Geoffrey and Richie.
If you'd like to download the full version of the Geoffrey and Richie Sports Show, including more football talk about cricket, the winners and losers of the past 7 days of sport, and of course the Geoffrey versus Richie challenge, go and find us at iTunes. You could also email us at geoffreyandrichie@hotmail.co.uk. Do check out our blog. The web address is www.geoffreyandrichie.libsyn.com, and also we're on Facebook. We are the Geoffrey and Richie Sports Show.
This is the Geoffrey and Richie Show. All sports, all talk.